Hi Libra, sorry that this is late and we're going to have funky shadows because I'm filming at night. I'm going to post this really late tonight so that I can post the rest of the readings tomorrow. And it's your reading that came up next, so I'll take a look for you, okay? So what we're going to do today is talk about the eclipse that's happening on May 26, 2021. It's happening at about 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's the peak. It starts actually after 1:45 and continues until 6:45. If you're on the East Coast, that makes it 7 a.m. So the moon's going to be below the horizon by that point. So unless you're in Hawaii, Alaska, California, Oregon, you're not going to see it. But that's okay. You might see like the beginning parts. When it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, if you get up really early, you'll be able to see it if you're east of the West Coast. But if you're on the West Coast, you're going to be in for quite a show because the moon is going to go fully eclipsed for about half an hour between 4 and 4:30, and then it's going to set. So it's going to be very scenic if you're in a place where there's no rain and sun rain if you have clear skies. Anyway, thanks. Nice to see you guys again. I'm excited to be here with you guys. It got late and then it got dark and I got sidetracked, so I apologize for the shadow. There's no other way to film. So and it's pretty late that I'm filming now, so there's no daylight left. But let's talk about the astrology first and of the eclipse, and then we'll get into the tarot and stuff. The astrology of the eclipse is meant to last for longer than Wednesday, so take it as like a longer transit. In fact, it's realistically going to carry you through right until the last set of eclipses happen in Sag and Gemini, and we are switching to Taurus, Scorpio, we're switching to Scorpio, Taurus, North Node at the end of the year. So pretty exciting stuff, and I'm excited for it. That's going to be a wild one. But for you, this one is actually more powerful because it's in air. It's in Gemini here. So anyway, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we have a members only special that I'm going to put on the members only site, and that is going to feature more in-depth astrology for the next month, where I kind of go through this stuff. A lot of people don't like the astrology, or it's too complicated or whatever, but members like it, so I'll always give you guys some astrology here, but I think the deeper astrology will go with them, and on other media where I focus on astrology on a daily basis. So you can follow me there. And if you're confused what the media is, just ask in the comments. Somebody will tell you. Anyway, so let's take a look at this eclipse, and I'll tell you why it's special for you. For Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, at this time, the huge emphasis is on the fact that a lot of transits are happening in air. So Saturn is going retrograde, or has gone retrograde last Sunday in Aquarius, and Mercury is about to go retrograde in Gemini on the 29th, on Friday. And then we have this powerful eclipse at 11 degrees of Gemini. And so this is a powerful spot for you. Now for you Libras who are born between 6 degrees, who have 6-degree Libra placements to 16-degree, your placements are actually creating an even stronger connection to this eclipse, which is called the Grand Trine, which means that all the three air suits are connected: Aquarius, Libra, and the North Node. What that means for you is that there's going to be a fundamental event, or just or circumstances in which you think. So something might not happen, but you may spend time thinking about your situation that will propel you to make changes in your life and really push you towards branching out. It's very likely many Libras will go somewhere else far away. You may, especially if you've been brooding about it for a while, if you've wanted to go somewhere else and check something else out. If you feel as though you feel, stifled by your current circumstances, you will go broader. You will expand your horizons and go in different directions. Okay, so and if you have those placements between 6 degrees to 16 degrees of Libra, then it's going to go much more powerfully. That energy is going to be accentuated. Furthermore, there's been a lot of solar activity recently, solar flares, and so the sun is extra intense. And behind the North Node, there is a fixed star called Aldebaran, and so this affects the sun's rays for the eclipse. The sun's rays travel across the sky, and the Earth is actually here during the eclipse, right between the two. And as those rays of the sun that are supercharged hit the moon, the Earth gets in between and blocks them, creating a red moon or like a blood moon, as they call it. And so that it produces this special event. It's a combination of an eclipse and then also the proximity of the moon to the Earth. So it's a time when the moon is closer to the Earth than it is at other times. And so this light is the primary focus of the eclipse, which when we have a dimming of the light, it fundamentally changes things for us and shifts our realities and takes us in a different direction. And so with the moon in the 3rd house, communication, short distance travel, there's something near in your environment that's about to change. It's something that's been probably changing already for some time. This could be what you do day to day, like where you go. Let's say, for example, that you go and you work out in one part of the city, and then with this eclipse, it's very likely that you might shift and go and work out in another part of the city. So not necessarily stop working out, but just shift where you're going for some reason. This can also finalize relationships with siblings and cousins, people close to you, especially people who you knew as a child. There could be a final closure to a relationship like that with this eclipse. There could be a transformation in how you feel about it if you've been hurt by cousins or siblings. There could be a complete kind of catharsis with regard to that situation. And in terms of like a positive, if something needs to be put aside in a situation, then it's with this eclipse in which those things can be done. And because you're an air sign, and because Mercury's in shadow about to go retrograde, and because the Saturn is also retrograde, there's these kind of retractive energies are with us, pulling you back and giving you opportunity to sort of shift and refocus your energy towards the past and fix those things. So I think it's a very powerful full moon for you. I think you should be excited about it. I think you and Virgo, right? You and Virgo share this position of this eclipse happening at the IC. And so what that means is that both Virgo and Libra are dealing with issues to do with childhood, anything to do with origin stories. Virgo is going to be in the 4th house, which is more to do with home and family, those kinds of things. But dramatic things can happen on Wednesday, and it's important for you to mind your mind and mind how you think about things. The air aspects, I really want to let you know that it's important for you to be very aware of what you're thinking, how you're thinking, and where you're taking your thoughts to, because I think that can really accentuate whatever is happening in Sagittarius. So if you say things too bluntly, or if you are I don't know, maybe more aggressive about what you want. I'm picking up, this is intuitive aspect, I'm picking up like frustration with your situation, and you want to go travel really far away. So not the third house, the ninth house. And I'm sensing that like for whatever circumstances you haven't been able to go. And so with this energy, you might really, if you feel really pushy with it, like a desire to make it happen on your own terms, that might really throw the balance of the harmony of everything that's going on because of the air energy. But at the same time, if you feel like you need to go, then maybe this is your time to make a move. Ultimately, you have to make that decision for yourself. I really feel as though you're unhappy about close relationships. I have a feeling that you're unhappy about close relationships. There's possibly wounds. There could have been a breakup, and we all have had our breakups, but there could be a breakup in which that really fractured your life, and that really kind of put things in a difficult spot for you, more so than other people. And so this Chiron here in the 7th house could be actually propelling you to feel more desire to branch out. And I don't think it's saying don't do it, but I think that some things close to home need to change first to set you free. And when they change, then it'll be a good time to move forward. In fact, this eclipse is meant to release you from something so that you can move towards the North Node. And since that's your 9th and 10th house as Mercury and Venus enter this area of the chart, this is branching out energy for you. So you're in the immediate moment with the eclipse, there may be some kind of reduction, so removal of something that's holding you back. And then ultimately, I feel like it's the reason that if you are like removing something from your life, it's very likely that it's so that you can branch out and take on more. I think that's where the energy is going. So I hope this helps. And now let's take a look at your tarot cards. Actually, this feels really good at night. If I could just finish. My pet peeve is these shadows, and they're really hard to deal with in this angle. And I have like lamps to try to make it better, but the real problem is underneath, right? So it makes it like, yeah, I'd have to have, this is an extremely powerful, both of these lamps are very, very powerful, way more than a regular light bulb. And so even with those very powerful lights, it's tough. But yet daylight works, so I don't know. Okay, so Libra, let's see what's going on as your energy. Oh, that's interesting. This card wants to stick around. So we have self-love. I really get that vibe for you that it's not necessarily a rebuttal to those bad relationships or bad circumstances. It's a real appreciation of the self and a desire to want to go in a direction that you want to go and take care of yourself in that direction. I feel like the energy is really good for you to go. What I'm trying to say is that timing, I think, at this time is very important. Okay, so let's take a look at your next energy. So we have, again, the same card. So this card is called Love. So there's something, and to me it's like, it's a very you card. It's a very Libra card. Embracing oneself and kind of like glass. Like I think of Libra as glass. Very like, very like, how do you say it? Just glass, shiny and slick. The aesthetic. And I get this energy from this card, which tells me that it's like a self-love that you're showing yourself at this time. And then we have, so it looks like there is someone around. The 8 of Water, this is not the 8 of Cups, so please don't interpret it as disinterest. In fact, I think somebody's showing interest towards you. I think with the Chiron there, you might be feeling as though there could be an ex in your life that's going back and forth. If there is, I have a feeling that they're incredibly triggering. Somebody who gets under your skin, who frustrates you either on purpose or doesn't care about it. Someone who's an egoist, somebody whose agenda comes in. And if that's the case, then they're here to sort of trigger you, or I guess for you to walk away from it. What I'm getting, if it's a relationship that's kind of broken apart like that, it really feels as though you've broken up with them several times and you've had a very hard time breaking up with them. And so each time it gets a little bit easier until you are at a place where you can let go. So it's really a process of learning to let go with this person. But the major download I got for this isn't bad, and especially those of you who are single. This feels like somebody's coming in with a very open heart as well. So someone with open arms, I can, like that, just coming through like this to you, showing you love and showing you affection. So I think that maybe you're focusing on yourself and you might have some kind of admirer. Mars is in your 10th house in Cancer. That's a very interesting placement for you. I think that at this time you'll probably receive a lot of attention. Venus is at the top of your chart, so I'm not surprised. And then we have this choice. See, you're faced with a choice. You're going to ultimately branch out anyway, but I think the choice is how and when and under what circumstances, right? And then we have the 3 of Earth. You decide, this is what I'm going to tell you. I think it's really tempting to branch out. And we have 5 of Pentacles. You're worried about losing money, charlatanism. Okay, so I think that you really want to go do something at this time. But I think that you sort of feel like the timing is not quite right, quite not there yet at this time. And so ultimately you will choose to work and save, or it's not yet time. I think you'll decide it's not yet time. But I feel like you're also making personal decisions within your own heart about which way to go. You're making decisions about which way to go and how to deal with things, how to address things that are happening. It really feels like you're in a small town and you're just looking to the big city and waiting to move there. And it's only a matter of time before you'll be able to. So it's this kind of longing and yearning for something far away. And there's this, something's finished too. That's the other part. Something that was holding you back has come to an end. But in the meantime, you'll still have to put some effort in. This is very interesting reading. So let's see. And these people feel like a couple. So for some of you, this is you and your partner, in which I wonder if it's 2 Libras, maybe. But it feels as though like some perfectly aligned couple. It feels like you have to wait something out, something to do with money. That's kind of complicated, or you may not have full control over. There might be some things that have to happen before you can do what you want. Okay, so let's take a look at tarot. So this is classical tarot. We have the Death card, which is Scorpio. That's a big card off. So the end, the transformation has happened, and now you have to move forward. And then we have the Hierophant, which is Taurus, the teacher. I think that what I'm getting is that there was a disconnection from community in the past because of being busy or because of some circumstantial reason. And now you're in a phase of reconnecting with a social circle of friends. Maybe you know them already, but I feel like it's almost a new group of people. That mixed feelings. I think that you're worried about, if people ask you about things that have happened in your life, you're worried about what you're going to say. You're getting a little bit of social anxiety about how to express things that have happened. 6 of Cups. That's Sun in Scorpio. So we have 2 Scorpio suggestions. There's no planets in Scorpio yet, but there will be in November. Maybe this is timing. But this is water, earth, water, water, which is quite different than the astrology right now. But I have a feeling that there's, maybe in the group of friends that you're with, there's a change, and then you connect with a group of friends. There could be someone in there with whom you have special feelings, but we have Three of Swords. Communication is difficult, how to get that across to each other. There could be some things behind the background that you're not seeing about this person. Not in the sense that they're a bad person. I feel like they're pulled away from your situation with them. But it's like they're dealing with a breakup of their own. So maybe they're dealing with some kind of breakup. And so if it is the case that somebody's pulling away, then I don't think that it's done with negative energy. But you may interpret at times doubt or cynicism towards your situation because it's not there fully present all the time. It's still coming together. Okay. Then we have the Chariot. Beautiful card for Cancer. I'm so excited for this card. That's that Mars I was telling you guys about. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and so is this card in part. No, sorry, Tower is. Sorry. But Scorpio is ruled by Mars in part. We have Five of Pentacles. Some of it is like accepting a lower status. Like, it's not that your life is becoming significantly poorer, but I think that this is accepting like a lower... There's some degradation of wealth here, but it's not like a bad one. It's something you fully embrace because you get from that community some kind of wonderful outcome. There's a wonderful resolution to... So you choose to go with someone who's poorer than some situation that's richer, maybe from the past. But there's a lot more there. I'm picking up emotions, and this is your person. I have a real feeling. And there are some real hurt feelings behind the scenes that you're picking up on. So just go slow with this relationship and this situation. Here is the next message. We have the Star. Let's take a look. We have the Star. That's Aquarius. It's a very fated situation that you're in at this time. Definitely less money, but more hope and more fulfillment. And there comes the Tower. So that's Mars. Look at all these cards together. When they come like that, transformation, change, you become free through this transit. It's a real release of some stuff, right? It's a release of stuff that was holding you down by not... You know when people say that they get neglected because they are being provided food, but they don't receive love and care and affection? This is the kind of energy that you're leaving behind, Libra. That it's kind of like vacuous. You know, when I was saying you look like glass, the thing I held back from saying, because I didn't want to be rude and I didn't want to suggest something negative, but what this suggested to me was like a hollow piece of glass. And that was interesting because it was like hollow, like, you know, an empty canister of something. And now I sort of see what's going on, that like you still have your ethereal beauty and all these different things, but there's like a lot of you has been poured out, has been taken out, and you're still you and you're fine, you're good. But I feel like in this cycle, you're replenishing like the fulfillment of emotions and grounded things. And then we have King of Cups. This is very strong energy for a Pisces. Look, all the water signs are here. So we have Scorpio, Chariot, Cancer, and Pisces. Six of Cups is Sun and Scorpio. We have the King of Cups. So there's definitely some sort of big transformation for you. The Two of Cups on the bottom represents friendship. I have two Twos of Cups in this deck. This is the friendship one because I like to differentiate it a little bit in the readings. It just happened to be that I have two cards, and then I was like, oh, this really works well. So yeah, there's a couple cards. There's a couple Hanged Mans in there and stuff too. But yeah, I just feel like there's some difficult moments in the upcoming time. There's a Three of Swords in the Tower, but I think it pushes things along from position of stagnancy or delays. I also feel as though there's like immense improvement in the level of solidarity you have in your life, whereas before you were either alone or with very, very unforthcoming friends. And I think that you're being reminded through this time of what positive bonds are, like positive connections with people. And this King of Cups is kind of a surprise here because all these cards were coming through. So when you have a Tower and Three of Swords, you know, like sometimes when our heart breaks and we feel all these things, that's when we really realize who we care about. There could be a very abrupt, intense moment, and the Star is here as well, where there's hidden feelings, confusion, all sorts of different things, and then somebody comes through with very profound feelings and groundedness. So you're going into quite a lot of changes, Libra, but I think that the outcome will be very positive and grounded and solid. And I feel like it might even surprise you. Well, there it is. It was already telling us that was coming. But if you're not looking for relationships, because not everyone does, if you're not looking for relationships, then it's also to do with like positive feelings, a turnaround. I sense that you're moving from being like quite isolated to a much integrated experience with people, where people interdepend on each other. And before you were sort of stoic on your own. I also feel like many of you had a partner or someone who was with you who was just there but not there, like an empty shell of a relationship. And I think that's what many of you are overcoming now, just a hole in an empty hole. But what's coming through is blessings and enrichment and positive things. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to make the energy real. I will talk with you soon. And members, your readings will be available in the description when I film them. Not tonight, okay? But soon, okay? Thank you guys. Bye.